Hey kids, welcome to our little Grizzo TV.
Once upon a time, there lived a poor woodcutter with his wife and 2 children. The boy was named Hansel and the girl was named Gretel. They lived in a small old cottage at the edge of a deep forest. The family was very poor. Sometimes they had very little food to eat. One year, a great famine spread across the land. There was no food anywhere. The woodcutter worked hard, but he could not bring enough food home. His wife, who was not the children's real mother, became cruel and unkind. One night, the stepmother whispered to the woodcutter, "We have only 1 loaf of bread left. If we don't do something, all of us will starve. Tomorrow, we will take the children deep into the forest and leave them there." The woodcutter was shocked. "No," he said, "I cannot leave my own children alone in the forest." But the stepmother said, "If we don't, we will all die. It is better to save ourselves." The woodcutter was very sad, but finally agreed. Hansel and Gretel were awake and heard everything. Gretel began to cry, but Hansel said, "Don't worry, I have a plan." That night, Hansel quietly went outside. He filled his pockets with shiny white pebbles that glowed in the moonlight. Then he came back to bed. The next morning, the stepmother gave each child a small piece of bread. "This is all you will get today," she said. "Don't eat it all at once." The woodcutter led the children deep into the forest. As they walked, Hansel dropped the white pebbles one by one on the path behind them. After a long walk, the father said, "You children rest here by the fire. We are going to cut wood and will come back soon." But as the sun went down, Hansel and Gretel were still alone. No one came back. They waited all night. When morning came, Hansel said, "Don't worry, follow me." The white pebbles shone in the sunlight. Hansel and Gretel followed the trail and safely found their way back home. Their father was very happy to see them, but the stepmother was angry. She had not wanted the children to return. Soon, the food ran out again. One night, the stepmother whispered, "This time, we must take them even deeper into the forest." Hansel again wanted to collect pebbles, but the stepmother had locked the door. So, in the morning, Hansel used his small piece of bread to drop crumbs on the path instead. The parents left them deep in the forest again. But when Hansel and Gretel tried to follow the crumbs back, they found that the birds had eaten them. Now they were truly lost. They walked for hours and hours. They were tired and hungry. Then they saw something amazing. In a clearing in the forest stood a little house. But this was no ordinary house. The walls were made of gingerbread, the roof was made of cake, and the windows were made of sugar. Hansel broke off a piece of the wall and ate it. Gretel tasted the sugar window. Suddenly the door opened. An old woman came out. She looked kind and said, "Oh dear children, come inside. You must be hungry. I have warm beds and good food for you." Hansel and Gretel were happy and followed her in. The house smelled sweet and cozy. The old woman gave them milk, pancakes, and apples. Then she showed them 2 soft beds. Hansel and Gretel fell asleep at once. But the old woman was not kind. She was a wicked witch. She had built her candy house to trap children. She liked to eat them. In the morning, the witch locked Hansel in a cage. She said to Gretel, "You will do the chores. I will fatten up your brother and eat him." Days went by. The witch fed Hansel all the food he wanted. Every day she came and said, "Let me feel your finger. I want to see if you are fat enough." But Hansel was clever. He held out a little bone instead of his finger. The witch had poor eyesight and couldn't tell. She thought he was still too thin. Weeks passed. The witch grew tired of waiting. "He is fat enough now," she shouted. "Gretel, heat the oven. I will eat your brother today." Gretel was afraid but had an idea. She said, "I don't know how to use the oven. Can you show me?" The witch said, "Foolish girl, watch me." She opened the oven and leaned in. Quick as a flash, Gretel pushed her in and slammed the door shut. The wicked witch was trapped and burned away. Gretel ran to Hansel and opened the cage. Then they looked around the witch's house. They found boxes filled with gold and jewels. They filled their pockets and walked back into the forest. After a long walk, they saw a path they knew. It led them home. When they reached their house, their father ran to hug them. He had been very sad since they left. Their stepmother had died and he was all alone. Hansel and Gretel showed him the treasure. Now they had enough food and money to live happily ever after.